Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. Deftones, Passenger. Right now we're doing this. I have a lot of fun stuff coming up this week from bands I've heard to cycle through, Opeth and just all kinds. I got some good stuff. I got Slipknot coming. I got some great stuff coming this week. So I'm going to be dropping a few a day if you don't mind. But let's do Deftones Passengers. I know there's a definite connection, obviously, with this song because and the Tool Army because Maynard's in this. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to listen to this because I heard about the collaboration, and I'm very interested in hearing how these incredible musicians from all kinds of bands, they're like movable parts. They all kind of drop in on each other's thing. I learned that from like Winter Sun, the video I did, and then that drummer did this for this one and this. I think it's so cool. So I like these collabs. All right, so let's do this. Deftones Passengers, thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for dropping. If people are buying me a cup of coffee, it's so cool because my channel's not monetized. It helps what I do with the kids. And of course, my obligatory AKG 240s. People ask about the headsets, links below. And the link will be below for all of Spotify and stuff for Deftones. All right, here we go. I went on too long. All right.
Surfaces, these and other lucky witnesses now to call me. This time, won't you please? Roll the window down this cool night. Air is curious. Let the whole world look in. Who cares? Who sees anything? I'm your passenger. I'm your passenger.
Okay, I think this would be a great place to stop. The opening, those guitar effects, I had to listen really quick because I don't recall hearing if there was any keyboards in Deftones. There might be, but I haven't really dove deep into it yet. That opening kind of sets you on this path of like, I'm doing this in the morning, so it's too early for a gummy bear, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But it really kind of put me in, without having to do that, into a place of like, with the headsets. When you're in the headsets, you isolate. The world is away from you, so you really are focused on the music. And it was taking me into this kind of, I'd want to say, pensive kind of like approach of like, something's coming, something's coming, and they're going to hit you with something. And then when they do, what I love is that the drummer's playing, in essence, in halftime. So if this is the beat, real time, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, right? Halftime is boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba. But he's holding hi-hat elements of, like 4/4 regular time, eighths and sixteenths and stuff that he's playing. And I love, love, love that setup, because you never can tell if a band or a musician or an artist or whatever the project I'm listening to is going to accelerate that, not only maybe into regular time, but then double time. So it has the option to actually throttle up the speed and intensity without actually changing the tempo. Of which, changing the tempo, it felt like there was a slight slowdown in that pre-chorus when they just kind of went kind of wide open. What did I write down here? Yeah, there was this slowdown, it seemed like, when it just kind of spaced out and got really wide open. And it felt like it. I'd have to go back and listen to it and kind of meter it out, but I was kind of enjoying the ride at this point. And then, of course, Maynard's, it seems to me like on this collaboration, Maynard is pulling a little bit from the Tool parts of his performance in intervals he's singing in his melody, as well as the rhythmic arrangement of what he's doing. So it is a little more reminiscent of Tool, and I don't know when they recorded this opposed to when, I guess, he recorded this, but where was he with Tool at the time, or what part of the year, what year it was when it was happening. But those intervals, those notes that he's choosing, really give you a very wide, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking, kind of a swarmy kind of a vibe there. I don't know, I'm kind of blah blah blahing right now, but let's just keep going and let's see what else we got going on here. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I love this guitar tone and what they've done with it, and how it's a really well heavy driven, saturated. It sounds very tube driven. But I like that they gave it a really fat bubble in the mix. It's not a hard left, hard right. There's no trickery necessarily going on there. But I love this tone that they have with the guitar. And I also love the fact that the bass didn't come in until the very first verse. So they let all the other stuff kind of slide in. And then they hit you when the lyric starts, when the melody starts. That bass comes in as a supportive, like boom. That was the final thing that it needed to kind of lock you in. All right, let me back it up. Let's go.
I'm your passenger. I'm your passenger. Drop these down, put them on me. Nice, cool seats there to cushion your knees. Now to calm me, take me around again. Don't pull over. This time, won't you please? Roll the window down, this cool night air is curious. Let the whole world look in. Who cares who sees what tonight? Roll these misty windows down to catch my breath, and then go and go and go. Just drive me home and back again.
All right. Something else I want to bring up really quick. In that passage that we just went through, that was soft, and Maynard singing, his melody. I'm sure you've noticed if you're the hardcore listener, but he's duplicating that in a whisper, and it's set really deep in the back. But how they make it, the engineering decision here, how they make it a little bit discernible is that they put a delay on it. So it's pinging left and right. The whisper with the identical lyric that Maynard's singing. That's really super cool. There are many different ways through all the years that I've listened or worked on projects that we've done stuff like that, where there's a doubling of it, but yet it's very sunk somewhere at the bottom and it's actually used as part of an arrangement, which sonically, even though whispering doesn't have a tone to it, it's still part of a sonic arrangement. And it definitely, the white noise of it definitely has its place. The other thing I want to bring up before we kick back into gear too about the drummer, remember I was talking about it's kind of in a halftime vibe. Listen to the kick drum. If you were to have played this in a true halftime, it would be in a laid back halftime. It would be very, right? But even though in this case he's holding down, the locked in tempo 4, the assignment of the forward drive now is the kick. I don't know that's the exact thing, but go back and enjoy that kick and listen to that phrasing and stuff and how it just pushes you through. It's really super cool beans. All right, here we go. Okay, I know there's more coming. Don't worry, I'm not stopping. I mean, I am, but I'll go back and we'll finish this. You saw me kind of get lost in that. When I listen to ambient passages like that in a band that's already established, this powerful forward driving presentation here, power rock. You know what I'm saying? And then they glide you into this thing. I mean, sometimes they use terms like palette cleansing, sonic palette cleansing, but this kind of resets the emotional bandwidth into a nice, comfortable vibe. Gets you back. It kind of cycles you back into a place where you started with the song, and it kind of brings you down. But we already know at this point we're still going to be in for something coming out of it. Another thing I want to bring up is that the harmonics that are being played. The engineering, they did some really super cool things with the harmonics, the guitar. If you don't know what a harmonic is and you're a first-time listener or you just enjoy music to enjoy it, harmonics are places on a string that you can play without having to press the string against on the neck with the fret. And what it does is the space between you very lightly resting your finger on a string and you can actually pick it or whatever the case is. But to get that harmonics out, you have to be in the right place on the fretboard. Position 5, position 7, etc. But what I love about that is that those harmonics that are coming out is that it starts off in one side of the cans very low, and then as it comes up and it becomes a principal part of the arrangement, whatever the engineer did in order to give that some width, and you felt it kind of come around and get quite a fairly large stereo presentation there, and I loved that. Okay, let's finish this out, and I gotta sneeze. Ah, fuck. Oh, all right. I'm afraid to end. I don't know. There's a little bit more space going on here, and I'm afraid to end because sometimes I just get nailed in the comments going, dude, you missed the best part. Okay, I'm thinking this is it. Okay. If not, I expect your comments. All right. Those last notes, very, very cool, very subtle, very much leaving the message open. You know, for the now I don't know where this song places itself in this album, because you know albums are usually one whole project that takes you through a journey of that time period that the artist or the band, has written a piece of work. That's why it would happen when the internet did what it did with, with songs and breaking them apart one at a time. It's not like they didn't do it back in the days of the single, but there was a different business model back then. But when bands sit down and they write an album, they write a body of work that has a long story to it. Sometimes it's random. Sometimes a record company just wants their music, and the bands just go, "Oh, shut up, here we go." But none of these bands are like that. All of these bands and artists take these great, fantastic chances in writing these bold, long pieces of work, such as Deftones' Passenger, and then Maynard and Tool and Pucifer and all the other things that he does as well. So I don't know where this falls in that lineup of songs, but I'm definitely long and deep into the rabbit hole for Deftones. I want to thank you guys for encouraging me to listen to this. But this is going to be a busy week, so I hope you don't mind. I'm going to drop a bunch of stuff on you, a bunch of new, and then I'm going to cycle back, like I said, Opeth, Carnival, and Disperse, and all kinds of great stuff. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for the great comments. I mean, if you're still here, type "still here." But I do want to let you know that as blown away as my channel is, I can't believe how many people are hanging out. There's so many comments. I really do give them a read and stuff like that. And I want to thank you guys truly for your support. And I don't know. This is just a great journey. As long as I'm having fun, we're doing it together. All right. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right.